Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you're not new, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And today, which is Monday Mass Reactions, today we're going to be watching two Alex Bale Theories videos. So let's start right into it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you're not new. If you're new, you already know what I'm going to say. Still, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And let's get straight into this video right now. Let me turn my lights on real quick. And then we can get straight into the video. Straight into it. Let me see. Oh, God. There we go. Alright, let's do it.
How will the world end? It's a question that's haunted humanity for as long as we can remember. Will it be from nuclear war, or AI taking over, or some kind of disease wiping us out? Now, there have been many different works of fiction that explore all of these different possibilities. But what if I told you there is one piece of media out there that shows us a possibility that nobody has considered yet?
What?
And that's because it was hidden inside of a children's educational TV show. Teletubbies dares to ask a question that shows us the darkest, most horrifying fate for humanity. What if the sun was a baby?
What?
It's possible I went a little too far with this video. Teletubbies is essentially just jingly keys to distract babies. It's not like Blue's Clues or Magic School Bus where there is some semblance of a plot or conflict. Teletubbies is just kind of nothing. There is no substance to this show, which is understandable because it was made for literally 1-year-old babies.
Pizza right here. Let me know if you want me to see more cooking or stuff. But this is just for me to eat because I'm hungry. So yeah.
I will now try and describe the plot of this show. Teletubbies are these weird-looking alien baby things that live in a bunker in Teletubby land.
Be careful, don't try these at home with knives. Always ask a parent or guardian. There we go.
And they just kind of walk around doing nothing until a creepy speaker slowly comes out of the ground and tells them what to do.
Time for Tubby bye-bye. Time for Tubby bye-bye.
And there is also this giant sun baby thing that is constantly
is put it in the microwave for like 1:45, so 1 minute and 45 seconds.
And laughing at them. And there is also a windmill that sends videos to their stomachs of just some random kids also kind of doing nothing for like 5 minutes.
Playing on the beach.
And it is so boring and by far the worst part of this show. And then when they're finally done with it, they literally just watch the exact same video again. Because all this show is trying to do is just waste time distracting babies with jingly keys for as long as humanly possible. And I have watched so much Teletubbies for this video, and I hate it. Also, there's a vacuum cleaner named Nunu that looks like he's constantly in pain. Nunu is my favorite character because I can relate to him. And look, I get it. This is a baby show, I am not the target audience, and hopefully neither are the people watching this video. There is clearly no actual lore or world building here for me to discuss. 9 years ago, I even made another parody video of dark, edgy Teletubby theories.
Now why don't we watch a little bit of Teletubbies and see what we find? We see the show using overstimulating vibrant colors to mimic the psychedelic effects of LSD.
You know, that was just me making fun of losers who genuinely try to analyze this baby stuff. Anyways, here's my genuine analysis of Teletubbies. Despite everything I have just said, I do believe that there is a way to make sense of every weird random detail in this show. And it starts by asking a very simple question. Where is Teletubby Land?
There are over 6 ounces of intimate itch. Vagisil Maximum Strength Cream stops itch instantly.
Yeah, we can get that submitted by
At U-Haul, we know every family moves at their own pace.
Over the hills and far away, Teletubbies come to play.
It looks like Earth with the nature and rabbits, but we never actually see any humans. For all we know, this could be some distant alien planet or magical alternate dimension.
Now
we know
now we're gonna
Teletubbies
put it in the air fryer for 310 for 8 minutes. Remember, don't fry
do
it.
have some kind of connection to humanity. The weird speakers are constantly telling them to do human things, and they are constantly being sent videos of human children in the real world.
Hi, I'm Romy. Let's make some bagels.
And I feel like the intro at the start of every episode does imply that Teletubby Land is on Earth somewhere.
Over the hills and far away.
Over the hills and far away. They are telling us where the show takes place in relation to us, the viewer. And to get there, we need to go over the hills that are in our way, as opposed to like going through space or a magical portal. Meaning Teletubby Land is likely on Earth. But this doesn't make sense, because Teletubby Land has a weird sentient baby face sun, but in the human videos, we can see that they just have a regular normal sun with no face. So, if they're both supposed to be on Earth, then why is the sun different? Well, maybe it's not a question of where Teletubby Land is, but when. What if Teletubbies takes place on Earth in the future sometime after the normal sun somehow grew a baby face? And if that sounds far-fetched, then take a closer look at these human videos. Now, in most kids' educational shows, these types of segments are like Blue's Clues, where Steve gets sent mail from children who are fans of the show and say, "Hi Steve, I love Blue's Clues!"
Look, it's a letter from our friends.
Hi, Steve. Let's go see my classroom.
But in all 485 episodes of both the original and 2015 revival of Teletubbies, not once do the children ever acknowledge the fact that these videos are being sent to Teletubbies.
Hello, my name's Daniel. Hello, I'm Stephanie.
They never even say the word Teletubby, which feels like a very weird, deliberate choice. For all intents and purposes, these are just random videos of humanity that could have been made long before Teletubbies ever even existed. And this all gets a lot more interesting when we take a look at the most recent...
No. What are Teletubbies? What are they? What are Teletubbies?
Netflix Teletubbies reboot from 2022.
Over the hills and far away, Teletubbies come to play.
This reboot makes a couple very interesting changes to the show. One of them being to the human video segments.
Oh, Dipsy.
Hi. Hi there. Hi.
Instead of just a couple random kids out in the world, these videos now take place inside of a single reoccurring location with a woman named Julia who sings a song with a group of different children every episode.
You are a rocket, a super fast rocket, then run and touch a star.
And what's immediately different about these videos
It
is that
seems
for
like
the
something's going on like apocalypse.
first time ever
'Cause they
in the
inside
27
only.
years of this show airing, there actually is a direct acknowledgement of Teletubbies from a human being. Julia's shirt clearly shows the 4 Teletubby heads, meaning these videos in particular are not from the past. They are being made explicitly for Teletubbies to watch, and the humans in these videos exist at the same time as the show, which obviously begs the question, what does the sun look like for these humans? Well, here's the strange thing about these new videos. We never get to see the sun. In fact, the kids in these videos never actually go outside, which is very strange when you compare that to the years worth of previous human videos that are almost always outside. There does seem to be windows, but unlike the windows we see in previous videos or even in Teletubby Land, these are weirdly opaque, never actually showing us the outside world. The best we get is this obviously fake depiction of the sky on the ceiling. For some reason, these videos feel completely cut off from the outside world. Where are these people?
Yeah, where are
Hang on a second. What if over the hills doesn't mean Teletubby Land is behind hills? What if Teletubby Land is literally over the hills, as in on top of them, and this room is somewhere deep underground, completely cut off from the outside world? And if that seems too far-fetched, remember where the speakers come from.
the ground?
Time for Tubby Bye-Bye. Time for Tubby Bye-Bye.
They come from underground. The speakers with a human adult voice telling the Teletubbies what to do come from the same place where an adult woman wearing a Teletubby uniform makes videos. In the future world of Teletubbies, humanity lives underground. But why? Well, once again, I think this all has to do with the sun.
Yes. In an apocalypse. Part 2. The sun woke up.
Imagine a world where everything is normal. You go to work, walk your dog, watch YouTube videos, but then, one day, suddenly, without any warning or explanation, the sun wakes up. You realize that the giant ball of gas in the sky that gave humanity life was actually a cosmic sentient being all along. But it's not some unknowable Lovecraftian.
Ever since my dermatologist recommended you circadian tone, I'm kind of obsessed with the results. I just keep getting better.
No, I hate ads.
When you picture the future of work, what do you see?
Ads.
We see
No.
I grew up in Brazil and I was always fascinated.
Cthulhu entity. It's just a baby. Okay, that's disturbing, but so what? Well, our sun is already extremely volatile, constantly exploding and erupting with unstable solar flares that can release dangerous radiation
Unstable. Tantrum.
towards Earth. Scientists even believe that we could be hit with a solar superstorm one day that could be devastating to human infrastructure. Now, imagine if all of that power was given to an unpredictable, moody baby. A baby that we know is very interested in watching and reacting to the denizens of Earth. In fact, we can even see that when the baby sun gets a little too excited, the brightness of the sun suddenly increases. So, when this baby first wakes up and opens its eyes and looks down at the people of Earth, what would it see?
Civilians.
That baby would immediately throw a massive tantrum. So if humanity went underground after this baby showed up, then I think it's because this baby had some kind of catastrophic effect on the Earth, making the surface completely uninhabitable for humans. And if you don't believe me yet, remember those drawings of a smiling sun we kept seeing in the new videos? Well, there actually is just a single episode of the reboot that shows a drawing of a sun without a face. But what's interesting is that it also shows people and a car and maybe even a police officer below the sun. Unlike the drawings with the smiling sun that only ever show grass and flowers and no signs of humanity, just like Teletubby Land. These drawings are telling us that when the smiling baby sun came out, humanity disappeared. Yes, I believe that Teletubbies is set in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity was forced underground because the baby sun woke up. But then, what exactly are these weird creatures we see on the surface? Well, even if humanity could survive underground forever, the sentient baby sun is still up there. If they're ever going to reclaim the surface world, or even just prevent an even bigger world-destroying tantrum, they need to address this problem. So, how do you appease an unpredictable, moody baby with unlimited power? You jingle keys in front of them. The humans created Teletubbies, 4 creatures that could withstand the dangers of the sun, and sent them to the uninhabitable surface to keep the baby sun entertained and calm for as long as possible. Teletubbies literally is jingly keys for a baby. Every episode starts and ends with this baby. They are constantly cutting back to the sun's reaction every time the Teletubbies do something. Because the sun is the intended audience for this show. It's why everything the Teletubbies do is so heavily controlled by unseen humans.
Poe showed Lala the tutor.
This dumb baby show is actually a very high-stakes operation to protect what little remains of humanity. And if you still don't believe
I'm right here.
then let me ask you this. What are Teletubbies? They're weird, big baby things that seem to have technology integrated into their bodies.
Oh, yeah.
But let's ask the creators of this show. What was the initial idea behind Teletubbies?
We decided we'd go to the Smithsonian and we saw the actual spacesuits of men who not that long ago walked on the moon. You know, isn't it amazing? There's all this technology and you look at them and they just look like babies with nappies on toddling about.
And they were basically NASA spacemen. They were very easily surprised by things and fell over all the time, and when they were worried about things, they hugged each other.
They were based on astronauts, aka people sent by humanity in technological suits designed to withstand inhospitable environments. Once you compare moon landing footage to Teletubbies, you can never unsee it.
Over the hills and far away, Teletubbies come to play.
Tinky Winky, Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Lala, Poe, Teletubbies. Say hello.
And this is only the tip of the iceberg. Once you start viewing the show through this lens, everything that once seemed like weird, pointless nonsense suddenly takes on a whole new meaning. The Teletubbies live in a bunker-type structure beneath a hill, a shelter designed specifically to survive a harsh environment. The Teletubbies are surrounded by advanced technology that obviously these dumb baby creatures didn't make. The technology was made by humans to take care of and control their creations. The windmill obviously functions as some kind of signal tower to receive videos from the underground humans.
Nope, hold up. Gotta do one more thing.
You do. You see a line and wonder, should I join it? Even crazier is that folks stick with insurance that keeps them waiting around to find a claim, while Geico's claim support is available day or night. Why are you waiting for?
No one knows.
It feels good to step out of line. It feels good to Geico.
Meet Sabrina Gonzalez, Walmart pharmacist extraordinaire. In her 9 years at Walmart, she's seen it all. The sniffles, scrapes, sunburns, the really bad boo-boos, and the patients who need a little extra time to understand their script. Even the serious stuff. When the people you love need ongoing care, Sabrina's the one they count on. One of the 15,000 plus Walmart pharmacists in communities just like yours. Who knew?
I knew.
Yes, the last thing I'm gonna do.
but it also works as a form of renewable energy in this world without any functioning human infrastructure. Teletubby Land itself is covered in plants, the only form of life that would be able to adapt and thrive in harsh sunlight. The Teletubby shelter has been completely covered in grass, and we see flowers suddenly popping up all the time.
It was a really big flower!
Clearly, plants are thriving in this new sun baby world. Okay, but what about the rabbits? Why are they the only animal we see on the surface? It's not like rabbits are especially resilient to sunlight. Well, what are rabbits known for? Firstly, they are extremely fast breeders. They would be the perfect species to send to the surface to quickly repopulate the Earth's ecosystem. In fact, they are such fast breeders that apparently the crew filming the show kept having to pause the shoot because the rabbits kept having sex in the background. And secondly, rabbits are also commonly used by humans for laboratory testing and genetic modification. So maybe, much like the Teletubbies, these rabbits were genetically modified by humans to survive the surface world. This theory wraps up a lot of loose ends about the original show. But once again, the 2022 Netflix Teletubbies reboot has some very interesting differences. And this is where things get a little more disturbing.
The others.
So the new Teletubbies reboot has 3 very interesting changes. First, as I've already explained, the human videos are now with Julia in a post-Teletubby world. They no longer just show old random videos of humanity. Suddenly, everything is now custom-made for the Teletubbies. Second, there are now Teletubbies in the bunker.
They're making
These
more
horrifying CGI monstrosities are new baby Teletubbies that just exist now with no explanation. And finally, the strangest change of all. Every episode, the baby son has a completely new face. Why? What does this mean? All of these changes are so sudden and...
Amen.
random, and none of them really fit into my theory. You guys don't understand. I have watched hours and hours of this extremely boring baby show to try and make sense of this, and I almost gave up. But then, I finally found a single episode of Teletubbies that changed my entire view of this universe. Episode 56 of the 2015 revival called Twinkle Twinkle. In this single episode, for the first and only time in the over 500 episodes of Teletubby canon, it becomes night, and we watch the Teletubbies leave their bunker and look up at the night sky.
Tinky Winky saw a star.
Tinky Winky star!
The star was making music.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Tinky Winky discovers a star that is singing to him, and for me, this implies 3 things. First, there are other sentient stars out there. That's not just our...
That's why the sun keeps... because it's different suns. Hold up, I might be on to something.
Our sun. For all we know, all stars in this universe could actually be sentient. And second, the star has an adult voice. So this is likely what our baby sun will one day grow into. And finally, the most unsettling implication here is that other stars have begun to notice the Teletubbies. And suddenly, the 2022 reboot makes a lot more sense. Humanity's plan to use Teletubbies to entertain the cosmic horror baby sun worked. But it worked a little too well, because now they've started attracting other baby suns.
That's what I said.
This is a whole new problem for humanity, and 4 Teletubbies is not enough to appease all of these sun babies.
And that's why they're trying to make more.
Which is why they've suddenly begun to create more. Suddenly, just watching old videos of humanity isn't enough. The humans below the earth have to custom make higher quality videos with more children to keep the babies entertained. Humans are so desperate to meet the demands of all of these new sun babies that they are willing to do anything to appease them.
Just wait till you hear me say the words blast off, then run and touch a star.
Wait a second. Why would they be teaching children to touch the stars?
Then run and touch a star.
Wouldn't that be like the last thing they'd want to tell children to do? The whole reason they're down here is because of how dangerous stars are, right? Unless they're preparing these children to go to the surface? Wait, are these kids the Teletubbies? Is this where Teletubbies come from? They've been human children the whole time? No! So yeah, that is my theory. Teletubbies is actually a post-apocalypse where humans live underground and are turning children into Teletubbies and sending them to the surface to entertain giant sun baby gods. Is that good? Is that what you wanted? Did I appease you, Mr. YouTube algorithm?
Give me a second, guys. Okay, guys, I'm going to try to watch another video, but while I do, I'm gonna have to pack up because I'm about to go bowling and then go to another house. So yeah.
Hanky winky, dipsy, la la, ho.
But yeah, that was the video.
Working across teams is tough, but Asana helps you handle it. Asana AI can spot roadblocks and assign work to keep everything on track. That's how work gets handled. Visit us at asana.com.
So, dream theories are dumb. Let's just get that out of the way. Any theory where everything happening in the story is all just a dream or a hallucination or they're in a coma or purgatory or whatever, we can all agree that these theories tend to be very lazy and overdone and usually don't have any evidence besides, whoa, this fictional thing is so crazy and unrealistic. That must mean it's a dream! And I try to avoid these theories as much as possible. But on the very rare occasion where there actually is an overwhelming amount of evidence to support them, then I think dream theories can be really fun. And believe it or not, but I think that I may have found a piece of media with one of the most compelling undiscovered dream theories of all time. I am of course referring to the iconic 2000s vampire teen romance, Twilight. Now, I'm not afraid to admit that I
made me watch this in 5th and 4th grade after school.
Twilight. I think these movies are really dumb and funny and iconic, and I just have this nostalgic sweet spot for them. If you were too cool to watch Twilight, it's basically about an awkward new girl at school who meets a mysterious, dreamy guy who keeps staring at her for some reason. But it turns out he's actually a vampire who's in love with her.
I like my own personal brand of heroin.
But oh no, there's also a werewolf who's also in love with her, and they fight because Bella is just so special and important and literal wars are fought over her. Don't these movies kind of feel like a fan fiction Bella's writing about herself? So yes, I like Twilight. I rewatch these movies every couple of years, but on my most recent rewatch, I noticed something really strange. Something that made me question everything about these movies. In the first Twilight, after Bella discovers the truth about vampires and starts her forbidden love affair with Edward, there's this evil vampire guy that shows up and decides that he wants to kill Bella.
You brought a snack.
And the epic climax of the movie is a final fight scene in an old ballet studio where the good vampires eventually defeat the evil vampire and burn his body in a big fire. But not before Bella gets injured and is hospitalized. Bella then wakes up in a hospital room with her mom, who thinks that she just fell down some stairs.
What happened? Well, when you fell, you broke your leg. You tripped. And you fell down 2 flights of stairs.
Now obviously, this is a lie that they told Bella's mom. These movies are full of lies like this to keep the vampire's existence a secret.
Whenever the weather's nice, the Collins disappear. Dr. and Mrs. Collins yank them out for like hiking and camping and stuff.
And Bella is ultimately fine in the end, and they have a beautiful happy ending where love wins. Except, there's something in Bella's hospital room that doesn't quite make sense. Something that should be completely impossible. In the background of the room is an out-of-focus TV that seems to be playing footage of some kind of fire. But if you look really closely, you'll realize that this is actually footage from the previous scene. Like, it is undeniably the fire from the vampire fight that just happened. There is no logical reason why this TV would be playing this. I mean, is this supposed to be like an Easter egg? Or were they just so lazy about what to put on the TV that they, I don't know, reused footage? I mean, that's what I initially thought, but then I noticed there's something else in this hospital room. On the far wall, there is a painting of what looks like a ballet studio, which is also exactly where the previous scene took place. I mean, this was clearly intentional. This was not a mistake or laziness. This took effort from the filmmakers to include. But why? What are they trying to tell us by including all of these very specific, intentional references to the previous scene? Well, here's my theory.
You tripped.
I think that the lie about Bella falling down the stairs is the real reason why she's in the hospital, and the fiery vampire fight scene in a ballet studio that we just saw didn't actually happen. Let me explain. When Bella first woke up, she was very confused and disoriented from her injuries, and she clearly had no memory of what actually happened.
What happened? You don't remember any of this, do you?
So what if her mind invented a fantasy using the first thing she saw? A painting of a ballet studio, a TV playing some random footage of a fire, and she used these elements to convince herself that the real reason she's in the hospital is because she was attacked by an evil vampire in a ballet studio, when in reality, she actually did just trip and fall down the stairs like her mother said.
And you fell down 2 flights of stairs.
So yes, I am suggesting that the fight scene that we just saw didn't actually happen. It was all a fantasy created in Bella's head. I mean, this honestly makes more sense with how clumsy we know Bella is in these movies.
Oh, sorry.
Whoa! You at least watch where you walk.
Plus, it explains why no one ever questions the massive bite mark Bella has on her arm. And also, isn't it weird that they went out of their way to show us footage of Bella falling down the stairs?
You tripped, and you fell down 2 flights of stairs.
That's what I said.
Like, if this was just supposed to be a made-up throwaway lie, then they didn't really need to show it to us, right? I mean, the filmmakers probably put a lot of time and effort into this pretty difficult-looking stunt that we ultimately don't need to see if it's just a lie. But showing it makes a lot more sense if Bella falling down the stairs is what actually happened, and the fiery ballet vampire attack was just a fantasy. I feel like there's a very good chance that this is actually what the filmmakers were going for. There are a lot of very specific intentional clues here. And that is my Twilight dream theory. This one fight scene didn't actually happen. Bella was just confused after falling down some stairs. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. I will see you next time. Hang on a second. If the entire climax of the first Twilight movie wasn't real, then what else isn't real? Like, if they didn't fight in this ballet studio, then what happened to the evil vampire guy who wanted to kill Bella? Did they ever defeat him? Is he still out there? Was he ever real? And also, them killing this vampire in this ballet studio is like a very major plot point for the rest of the franchise. There are several future movies where the entire conflict hinges on this guy's girlfriend trying to take revenge because of what happened specifically in this ballet studio. But if that scene didn't really happen, then none of it could have happened. And suddenly, I am questioning everything about these movies. Are vampires even real? This scene tells us that Bella is an unreliable narrator, and we can't trust anything that we see in these movies. And I believe that there is a very good chance that all of the vampires and werewolves and everything supernatural in the Twilight movies may in fact just be something that Bella is imagining. So yes, we are doing a dumb Twilight hallucination dream theory, or whatever you want to call it. And look, it's okay if you don't fully believe me yet, because trust me, there is a lot more evidence in these movies. But before we get into the big stuff, I want to go back and take a look at what the actual story of Twilight might look like if we assume nothing supernatural is real.
Okay guys, I'm sorry, but next Monday Mass Reactions, we're going to have to be continuing this because my dad's downstairs and I'm about to go get him. So, if you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next video.